I often get asked a lot about someone's potential or ability to be successful. You know, are we all born with the same attributes that give us the same opportunity out there? It's very unique, actually. It's very different. We're definitely all born, I think, with the same potential. We're not all born with the same circumstance. So I think we're human beings, right? We're all born with the same mind. We're all born with, you know, the same brain or the same two hands, same two legs and everything else. So we all ultimately have the same opportunity to be successful. And remember, successful can be defined different ways for different people. So obviously if you live in Africa in a tribe, it's very different than if you live in New York or are born in New York amongst, you know, like a corporate industry that's always growing and that never stops kind of moving. So, you know, there's different circumstances that allow us to become different people, but successful in one country and another are two totally different things, but nonetheless they can both be successful in their own right. I think that when you think about your potential, we're all born with the same potential, but the one thing that differentiates us, like I said, is our circumstance. But the one thing past that differentiates us is our ability to believe within our own potential. So we're not all born with the same beliefs, and we're not all exposed to the same beliefs, which is where circumstance plays a significant role in our upbringing. So those around us impact that a lot. You know, our parents, our teachers, our friends, our cousins, whatever, you know, our family members. All of them play a significant role in our belief system. If we believe our potential to be the same as others who have done great things, then we also believe ourselves to be capable of doing such great things. If we don't, we never will. So it's no different. It's no different than everything we've been talking about so far. Think about belief, I always say, is what you need to demolish the competition. You need to believe you can. Henry Ford said it, and it's probably one of my favorite sayings today, is, you know, that you believe you can or can't, you're certainly not right. And he is right as well. Like, I think if you believe to have amazing amounts of potential, then you undertake very large goals and you take on large things to accomplish. You take on larger innovations, you take on larger goals, you reach for what others deem impossible, and you tend to accomplish it. When you don't believe that to be possible, and you start with that belief that you don't have that much of potential and that you're only gonna learn little by little, then you start taking on little bits of goals, and even though you may achieve them 5 years later, you're right at the base of what one of those larger goals was for someone else that believed they had the potential to do it. I don't think there's any difference between a Martin Luther King and a Steve Jobs. I don't think there's any difference between a Mother Teresa and Steve Jobs. And I don't think there's any difference between, you know, someone who makes $10 billion and someone who makes $1 million doing something different. I think they each believed in their own right that they could accomplish something, and they went after it and they accomplished it. All of those people are successful in their own rights, and I don't think there is any measure of success outside of what society has created that says that the one making 10 billion is more successful than the one making 1 million. I think we need to understand that baselines are the same for everybody, then that would hold true, but baselines are not the same. We're all born in different countries, we're all born with different beliefs, we're all born with different parents, we're all born in different monetary, at different levels of society, right, with different monetary backings. So some of us are born with $1 million behind us, some of us are born poor and with negative credit, you know, to add to it. So all of these things are just inequalities that we start with. So like I've said in a previous video, money can't be the reason or the measure of success anywhere. Money can't, because if it is, then it's inaccurately, the playing field is not fair, right? When you look at your own potential, think about this. Think about the circumstances of those. Think about the circumstances of those that you admire today. Think about the circumstances of those athletes, of those business minds, of those iconic figures that you admire today. Think about how they started their life. Study their background. And you'll notice that all of them, or the majority of them, did not have a heavy powerful backing in terms of money, belief, family, or anything else. They're no different than you and I. The one thing they did have is the belief in themselves that they could accomplish. And I think that, you know, if you look at their potential and you look at where they were, you'll notice that a lot of them were not in the industries in which they won, which makes it weird, right? Like, people have been successful in industries that weren't even their primary industries. Like, doctors were successful in the tech industry, and tech people were very successful in the health industry. It was their belief in themselves that led them to becoming successful. It wasn't what their destiny or what their day-to-day interactions had led them to become to that moment. It was their belief that they could be greater than what they were doing that day that led them to where they were. I myself was very successful in industries that had nothing to do with banking. Even though I was successful in banking, it wasn't where I guess my biggest gains were. It wasn't in the banking industry. So again, all of us, you know, have a journey, or a part of that journey will realize that our potential is worth more than what we've exercised so far. The real question is, will our belief support our decision to walk away from it and ultimately go find what our true potential really is?